it looks like we are live on Facebook. Awesome. All right, guys, welcome. Today we're going to be talking about the most important thing for that will increase your happiness. Okay, so today I was doing quite a few different things and really kind of going down a little bit of memory lane and thinking about myself in various stages as a child. And we're going to be going through some of those things of what you can do to bring more happiness into your life, and how to spend time reflecting on that and then bring that into your present moment. So, guys, if this is your first time joining me, my name is Tina. I'm a happiness coach, and I help people who are going through challenging times, especially business owners, and I help you deal with those emotions in a faster way so that you guys can get back on track and bring more happiness to your own life and that of your team. So, today I was thinking about a few different things of just various things of when you are growing up, things that you wanted to be when you were a child. There were, now, depending on which phase I was in, I was thinking of times like when I was, I think, grade 1 or grade 2. We lived in an apartment building, and there was like this big rec room, and a bunch of the girls from the building and myself, we would go into that rec room, and we would create like little dances and choreograph and stuff like that. And we had all kinds of music that we would play, records. Yes, records, vinyl. Back in the day, we had like little 45s, and we would sing along to things like Meatloaf and Sean Cassidy and David Cassidy. We had posters and stuff like that, and it was just fun, creative little things that we would do. We would put on like little plays, and we just had those kind of good times. And so, like, singing and stuff like that was always, and dancing was something that I loved to do as a kid. And then we'd go to my aunt's place, and we'd play arts and crafts and all of those kind of things. And just thinking and reflecting on those memories today made me think of like various aspects of the journey of like when I was growing up and things that brought me happiness. And so taking time to reflect on those past things of where you got your creativity from, what are the activities that you like to do, and how can you bring more of that into your present day life? Because as adults, we get so busy with the day-to-day grind, achieving goals, and especially when you're online, you're just like, oh, everybody else seems to be doing so much better. But when you kind of pull that back and pull it into the child like part of yourself, it's a really good way to bring in joy and happiness. Now, not all of my childhood was sunshine and rainbows. There was a lot of darkness, but there were pockets of sunshine, and focusing on what those things were and what was correct about those. And I just, thinking back and reflecting on things that I've done as a child, as a teenager, and the good, the bad, things that I got in trouble for, things that I didn't, I would do with my cousins. And there was this one time we were up at my aunt's cottage, and we would sit out under the stars, and we would watch the stars at night, and we would try to, like, we would see a lot of shooting stars, or we would see like satellites, and then we'd make up stories about aliens coming to Earth, and we would be sitting by the campfire, and those things were like really fun and enjoyable. And then we would go on these like dark walks through the forest up at the cottage, and it was like scary because it's like, of course, when you're out in the dark and you can't see and you hear a noise, is that an animal, or is this, hey Maya, good to see you, welcome, is this I watched a lot of movies when I was a kid, so it was like, oh, is this Jason from Friday the 13th? Is this Camp Crystal? Are we going to have to make a run for it? And we would just kind of do all kinds of crazy stuff like that. And I just remember being out and about, and we would, there was a Bible camp close by to where the cottage was. And I remember this one time we were walking along the beach and we kept tripping over things because we didn't have a phone, we didn't have flashlights, and we didn't know what was going on. And what we didn't realize, we didn't mean to be destructive, but we had tripped over some of the sandcastles that they had built during the day that was for a sandcastle contest the next day. So, yeah, we kind of Godzilla'd the beach. And, I always felt bad for that, but we just like innocent fun, and like, a little bit of trouble, but not anything too serious. So we would kind of get into things like that. And thinking of things that I grew up with, and things that I wanted to be in, various TV shows that I used to watch. And I was thinking of one that I used to love. This is going to tell you how old I am, but I would watch Leave It to Beaver, and I thought June Cleaver was the best. And I was always fascinated by and jealous of other kids that had stay-at-home moms that were able to do things like make costumes for Halloween and bring special treats and stuff like that. My mom was mostly a single mom, so she was working all the time. She worked full time at a job that most of the time only men could do. It required heavy lifting. It was in a factory. And she did that. And then she came home, and we lived in an apartment building. She was the superintendent of the apartment building because we got a cheaper rate at living in the building. So my mom, once she finished that shift, she would also come home, and then she would work in the building with cleaning and taking care of the garbage and stuff like that. So she wasn't available very often. And so while that created a lot of loneliness for me as a child, I also remember, good memories and stuff like that as well, of things that we would do around the apartment building. And, so because my mom worked all the time, I was fascinated with and jealous of other kids at school who had moms that stayed at home, moms that were able to attend the school trips and stuff like that. And so it was always something that it wasn't a career choice for me, but the option of being a stay-at-home mom was an impossible dream. And so I was always in corporate. I was always, because I also later in life started watching things like, there was a movie with Dolly Parton, and it's where the working 9 to 5, that being able to go to office, go to a business and stuff like that, and be able to participate and work in an office environment. As I got older as a kid, I used to have this like typewriter in my bedroom, and I would type on it, and I'd pretend that I was at work. And I had this catalog of various like Sears and Consumers Distributing. This is really telling how old I am. Oh my God. But I would look through the catalog, and I would go through and I would itemize, and I would write out, and I would write the costs of things, and I would list it out. Like, this was before spreadsheets or anything else like that. But I would list it out, I would organize it, I would tally it up, I would circle, and I had all the pages tabbed of which items that, putting together like a Christmas wish list and stuff like that of what I liked, and then what I would buy for my mom, what I would buy for my brother, and all of those kind of things. And so I would create these little lists, and just looking back on that, I was looking at myself from an adult perspective and looking at myself as a child. And like, those are kind of some weird quirky habits, and I really liked that part of myself and really enjoyed that weirdness of myself and just really embracing that. And so, in kind of going back and thinking that, you know, why this is important and why, you know, you want to look back at some of those previous memories, like what kind of things have you done in the past that you can really appreciate about yourself, that you like about yourself, that you enjoyed doing. I used to do a lot of art and paint, and I used to, there was a little thing called fashion plates. It was you would kind of mix and match these different outfits. You kind of had like the top, the skirt, and you would run a pencil over it so it would create an outline, and then you can color in different patterns. I loved playing with that as a kid. I loved making up different things. And so those are different ways that I like to play. And I was also in music. I was always in band or choir. I loved doing those kind of things. I wasn't great at any of them because I was always switching which instrument I was playing, drove my music teacher nuts. But I enjoyed doing it, and I actually showed up early, and I would try different instruments, and then I would help other kids in the class, right? So I was also always involved in drama. I was in plays. I just wanted to be in the center of everything. If it was at school, I was always involved at school. I loved it. And so the same thing happened when I started in a work environment. The company that I was with when I first started, we had like a company social club, and we had different events that the people at work would get together, and we would, you know, we would have things like cribbage or euchre tournaments, and we'd have like bowling nights, and we would have you know, summer picnics where you could bring your family, and then the kids' Christmas party, and then the adult Christmas party. And we had all these events where you also had to dress up, and especially since it was like office slash warehouse. I was in transportation and logistics, and just kind of going through all of that stuff. That was an opportunity for the people that when we were always working together, then we could also get together, have some fun, enjoy each other in a more social environment. And I think that made for a very cohesive work environment, and being able to incorporate those things. Now, as we kind of went along, well, then there were different challenges that kind of came up of there was some incidents of drinking and driving, and then accidents happen, and so then there were all these concerns about liability, and then companies just stopped doing this altogether. They stopped having that social interaction, and then they would try to do like, you know, little pizza things, and it's like that didn't quite do it. You really need that social interaction if you want a strong, cohesive team to work with. So bringing in these little aspects of happiness. I remember there was a supervisor I had. We were a bit disconnected as a team, and one of the activities that we did is we had to bring in pictures of ourselves as a kid, and we brought that in, and I thought that was a great way, because sometimes it can be easy to find faults with the people that we work with. It can be easy to get irritated and annoyed with them, and not really think the best of them. But when you bring in that picture and you start realizing that we're all still kids in these adult bodies, and people started to soften. People started to look at each other with much more love and care and kindness and respect for one another, of being able to see that child part of each of us in the work environment. And so this is a little way that you can start bringing in happiness into the work environment by really tapping into that child side and being able to see the child in other people. and it really softens you. And I love it when I hear somebody talk about something, a positive or a happy memory that they had as a child. So this is one thing, but being able to be present in your current moment, because everything that we do, we are experiencing in our lives is an opportunity for us to really be fully present and also really embrace that memory, like feel what you're going through right now, because it's when you attach that feeling, and if you're not present, you're distracted on your phone, you're doing other things, you will be disconnected from the feelings that are in your body because there's too much going on in your head. So being grounded, being present in what you're doing, whether that's at work or whether you're at home, you're out for a walk, whatever it is, be fully present in your body and really start to feel the sensations that are going on. So today, for example, I was out for a walk and it was really sunny and it was warm and it was hot. I was like, this was actually too hot for me to be out walking around. But being present and feeling that sun on your face and really taking a moment to breathe in the air, really, it will add things to your life. It brings in a whole level of experience that you will have to draw back on as a happy memory. So when you are going through darker times, when you're going through those challenging moments, being able to savor some of those memories because you savored them in the moment. You've ingrained them in your mind, in your body, and you will be able to draw strength from those memories when you're going through challenging times. So this is why it's really important to be fully present, to really tap into the love and joy that's available to you if you choose to look for it. Seek and you shall find, right? And when you really fully step into that, even if you practice that just a little bit every day, your life is going to get so much better, so much happier. You will be much more connected to yourself and the people around you. So don't just think that this is just for yourself, that this can be done in a work environment. As busy as you guys get, taking the time to take a few moments of, laughing at some of the hard times. It's like, there are lots of memories that, there were so many frustrations that we would deal with. And there was a buddy that I would go for coffee with, and we'd go for he was a smoker, I was not, but I would still go out for a smoke break. And we'd grab a coffee, we'd be bickering back and forth and nattering about different things, laughing, joking. We'd be talking about family, we'd be talking about our home lives and stuff that was going on, concerns. We would share, we had a connection, we had a bond of friendship, right? In with the things that we dealt with on a challenging level, right? And it just made the workday that much more valuable. So building that strong connection with the people that you work with is really important. This is why it's not good to have that competitive environment. Compete together, that you're on the same team, but always remind that you're on the same team. You're working for a common goal, you're moving in the same direction. And when you see that childlike part of each other, then you all learn to collaborate, you learn to help each other rather than hinder each other. So bring more of that into your work environment, bring more of that into your life, and you're going to find you're a whole lot happier. So guys, that is the training for today. Thank you for listening and for me sharing some of my childhood experiences. I would love to know, did you like this kind of sharing? Did you want more of the business stuff? Do you want more of this kind of stuff? Let me know and I'll create more content for that. But I think that no matter where you are, it is possible for you to bring more happiness into your life and to the life of those around you. Maya, thank you so much for the gifts and tapping the screen and the interactions. I really appreciate you. And guys, if you haven't signed up to my YouTube channel, I do upload the replays there, so you can catch them there. It's Coach Tina B 125, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Take care. Have a great night. Bye.